Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from SethMarkwood.com.
There you go. It wasn't so hard, was it?
I mean, somebody called me on it recently. Somebody said, hey, are you saying SethMarkwood.com? Because I go there and it says that page doesn't exist, and that's because it doesn't.
That's the one.
It doesn't. You got it right.
Hey, together along with you, the three of us, that's me and him and you, we're Mark and Ben's Breakfast Club. Welcome once again. If it's not your first time. If it's your first time, then just plain old welcome. Next time, though, welcome again. How you doing, boy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
What happened to your follicles?
I don't know.
You look like way different than the last time I saw you.
Well, I grew some more, and then murdered some more. So, since the last time you saw me, I guess it was yesterday, my wife cut my hair. She cut my hair and she trimmed my beard.
And so the request was, I want to look like Steve Dotto or like Theodore Roosevelt.
Find a Dotto tech. No, she cut it. Started as a Viking hairstyle, following a tutorial. However, she then went back and smoothed out too much, and so it's not that now. So Viking hairstyle would be very closely cut along the sides and hair on top.
What makes that a Viking hairstyle?
I don't know.
I need some tobacco. Hold on. Let me tobacco up, and then we'll talk about this.
Damn.
Hey, we are smoking some W.O. Larsen 2016 that I picked up in Germany 2 years ago. And the last time we smoked this was May of 2018. And this was actually the very first thing I tried to seal in my vacuum sealer. And if you recall, I tried to seal it in the tin.
I did, and it crushed it.
And it just crushed it. So I wound up taking it out of that and putting it in here. And then we'll cut this open, and later I will seal it again.
Cool.
Just look at that. I mean, it's
well sealed.
It's vacuum. I need something to cut on so I can cut through our table. That's actually what I would normally do, but you're sitting right in my...
Straight away, just straight forward. Why is the camera... This camera is goofy. The lens on this camera is askew, I'm pretty confident.
The lens is askew, or the housing is askew?
Yeah, well, yes.
In relation to one another, the lens and the housing are
correct.
askew.
They're not in a straight line. So you point the camera straight, and it's not looking straight. It's got a lazy eye. That's what I'm saying. And it's a little askew. It's not pointing where it ought to. It's way over here for me. Like it looks like this is centered. The camera's actually like here. It's very weird.
All right, so if you want to see this, it's sucked solid, and there's a little peel here tab because this was designed to be able to reseal.
Watch it. Suck in the air.
Yeah. All right, this smells kind of fruity and figgy.
Yeah, it looks like cake.
Smell that.
That's strong. That's potent.
That smells wonderful. All right, so I am going to be smoking in this Diplomat Apple, which we've been doing some experimenting on. This has got a rare earth magnet.
Can't really see that. Try again.
In anticipation
there we go.
Of a future Magnacob, we're experimenting. You might have seen it. I posted a picture on Instagram of my pipe resting on a bandsaw table. I don't know if this is just... Okay, I was thinking maybe this was a flake and that it was in layers, but it's not. It's just grown into one big clump.
Those of you that are curious...
Gosh, I can't wait to smoke this.
Those of you that are curious, just using packaging tape and taping the magnet to the bottom of a naked cob doesn't work. It's already coming undone. It doesn't really stick to the naked.
Okay, so that's one method we're not going to follow. All right, good to know.
Yeah. Well, it's
Also,
that was close.
if you don't know, for years we sold a pipe that we called, or actually a couple pipes that we called the Magnacob. And they were Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipes that I drilled into the plug in the bottom and added a rare earth magnet. Well, with the FDA Deeming, as I read the Deeming rules, Deeming regs, it was...
I went to check for a filter.
Just so you know, that was probably the reason why it was sitting in the seconds bin.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Yep.
We have people that ask if Aristocob sells seconds. No, we don't sell them. We smoke them. And our seconds are Missouri Meerschaum's firsts. Anyway, so we were making these Magnacob pipes, drilling a hole into the bottom of the plug and gluing a rare earth magnet in. And as we read the FDA Deeming regs, that made us a manufacturer. And it made me uncomfortable enough that I didn't want to deal with it. So we put it to bed. The one product that we did continue to make, but we changed it quite a bit, was our pipe mud, which is now Miracle Mud, no longer pipe mud. And working on an idea to make this possible. And we talked in the past about a couple options. One would be, if you ordered a pipe in advance, you paid for the pipe, it's now your pipe, and then a second fee could be applied to modify it into a Magnacob. That adds time, right? And especially when we get through quarantine and things, I will not be around like I have been here recently.
But the reasoning behind that is much like the gun industry, where gun shops will offer modifications, but only as a service to the gun that you have already purchased and now legally own. Similar, call it loophole or workaround, where once the pipe is purchased, the modification could be done as a service, but not as a modification of a product sold.
So we're working on it. I've talked about it, teased about it, that this is something I've wanted to do, and that is one thing that our current situation has allowed me to have a little bit of time. At least I'm home every night, so we're experimenting. Right now, one of the experiments we're doing is trying different sizes of magnets, different thicknesses and diameters, and there's a perfect ratio, or at least that we're shooting for a ratio that is going to work just right, so that you're not fighting the pipe and pulling the shank out of the bowl to lift it up off of the magnet, and likewise you don't want it falling off of whatever you've stuck it to. So anyway, gosh, that smells great. That really does.
Yeah, that's good. It's a little tricky to get out of there, though.
Yeah.
It has caked itself together pretty good. Well, speaking of magnets, I think it's a fun segue. That's something I was going to show off. I made an impulse purchase, and I have owned. This is something that is it an impulse purchase if it's something you wanted for a long time and then finally decide to buy it without planning to buy it?
Sounds like an impulse.
Yeah, pretty sure. So, I mean, it's not something that I just saw and was like, ooh, I have to have that. But it's something that I've wanted for a long time.
That's a slow burn impulse.
It really, really slow. The other day, I went to our local Books A Million bookstore. And Books A Million, if you've not been, and if you are somebody that's into gaming or just generally nerd culture, man, they have become quite the haven for that kind of stuff. They've got board games. They have a ton of Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder games. They have a lot of I've got an anime, and I don't think this is an isolated incident. This is
the Nerd Herd, home of the Nerd Herd.
Yeah, lots of nerdy things. I mean, more than Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble has a good bit of that stuff. Really, more than any place that I've been to, other than a specialty shop, in terms of an in-person shopping experience, they've got that. And it's not just isolated. I was in Books A Million here in North Carolina. A couple of weeks ago was in one in Kentucky. Same experience. Anyway,
What
speaking
if it's isolated to North Carolina and
could
the
be
part of Kentucky you were in?
Books A Million is isolated to however many stores are still open.
Isolating themselves.
So
True.
I don't know if you have seen this. I have owned one of these products before, but never this one. This is Aaron's Thinking Putty, but this version is the magnetic version. So Aaron's Thinking Putty is, I think it's better than Silly Putty.
Hey, those are bold words.
It doesn't dry out, and it seems to last a long time, and they've got the quantity figured out, right? So a container like this is just perfect for having enough to really be able to pull on and play with. And so I've got one of these in my at work in my filing cabinet with other toys.
You're right about Silly Putty. There's not enough in 1A.
There's not. This, however, I'll show you, this is magnetic. And so the inside of the putty are shavings of iron that you can't feel. You can kind of see them when they crystallize. And it comes with a magnet inside. And I thought for sure, there's no way you're going to be able to get the magnet off. There's no way you're going to be able to get the stuff off of the magnet. But there it is. It comes off so easily. And so you can and we need to do time lapse. If you've ever seen the time lapse of these will melt. This will slowly absorb the magnet over time as it continues to just become polarized and just pull itself around the magnet. What's fun is the whole case becomes magnetic, and so you can take a better way is
almost too heavy.
Almost. So you can take a small sprig of it.
Needs a flat end on it, doesn't it?
And you can take a piece and do the snake charmer with it. And so while I was there at the store, the bookstore, they've got these containers. These containers are between $12 and $15, I think. But again, I've got one that I've had for 4 years, and it's still as good as it was brand new. They also now have these more like Silly Putty style small containers. This was, I think, $3. But they have UV reactive putty. They have this magnetic putty. They've got a bunch of different kinds. They've got one that's clear. It looks, they call it glass. It is perfectly clear. This one is Krypton, and this is glow in the dark. And so this putty here should glow in the dark. And yeah, let's see if we can
charge it up.
I'll charge it up. Charge it up, we'll put it to the test. I've actually not done this. The only time I've opened this has been in my car during the day. Oh yeah. Hang on. So there you go.
Yeah, we still have some room lights on.
Sure, but you can see glowing right where the light was.
That's neat.
So you can
yeah, I'm watching it now.
Add. Oh yeah, and it's on camera. So keep an eye on that. Having all these extra magnets around though got me thinking about that and how much fun it would be to throw a couple of magnets in there.
Yeah.
But like I said, before I got it, I was worried about actually getting the stuff off of the magnet.
Right, I would think that it would pull the metal particles through the goo.
Mm-hmm.
So you're also using some tech right here that we've never used before. You've got a ring light, which is, I'm sure, why our pupils look nice and round today.
Yeah. That's right.
Here, I'll hold the camera up to it.
That's right. So this is a new ring light. Thought it was good to have some direct light. It was really neat.
Oh, look at that!
Hang on, won't be able to see it. There. Tilt that away. There. So there's the light. This light has different colors. That one's creepy looking on the iPad. Wow. You can see like smoke coming off of it. That's neat. So it's got 3 different shades. It is also adjustable in terms of brightness. And it gets pretty darn bright.
Wow.
One of the reasons I liked it is it is USB powered. And so not only can you run it off of any standard USB port on a computer or USB wall charger, you can also run it off of a USB power brick like this. So if you are traveling, and it came with a really, really neat stand tripod that you could use to for vlogging, but it's got a nice adjustable tripod. The only thing I did with this particular one, and this was like 20 bucks. Recently I purchased a shotgun microphone. So the shotgun microphone here has a cold shoe mount.
Mm-hmm. Cold shoe, so it's not getting power.
Right. Except it would be, the mount itself is not getting power. That's right. So cold shoe mount. So this is a shotgun microphone with a cold shoe mount. To use this with my phone, I had to get a phone mount that itself has a place to receive the cold shoe. So now I've got this piece of kit together for easy video recording. But now getting this onto the ring light required an extra piece because the ring light has its own flexible mount for a phone, but I couldn't connect the microphone to that. So I bought a two-way adapter that allows me to connect the shoe to a standard threaded.
That's too much adapting.
I know. But what it means is now in one piece, one assembly, I've got a light, a mount, a shotgun microphone, and a tripod, and all that actually is needed under normal circumstances is to just slide my phone in.
So then what are you using this for?
This. Videos.
I mean, with the microphone and such, is this for work videos?
No, it's for fun. It's for fun, but nothing in particular.
Because we're wearing these lapel mics, as opposed to using a shotgun. Mm-hmm. I've debated getting a shotgun. Just today, I purchased a wireless. It's a wireless device that it's 2 little boxes. One box plugs into your camera or your phone, and is a receiver. And the other little box can either be itself a microphone. You can clip it onto your shirt or put it in your pocket, or you can plug a lapel mic, a lavalier mic into it. It's probably how I'll use it. But I've been super frustrated with the audio on my videos on the My Growth Rings channel.
Yeah.
The week before last, I shot several different segments, and at some point I got hung up. This super long cord got hung up on something, and it partially disconnected. Well, I caught that, plugged it back in. What I didn't catch was it disconnected even further up the chain as well. So that one segment that I recorded didn't have audio other than what was coming from the camera. So I had to boost it, and it distorted it, and yada yada. So last week, the video that I recorded that went live this weekend, I used that IsoTune headphone set that I bought, that Bluetooth headphones. They sound great for listening.
Yeah.
They're fine for speaking on the phone.
Yeah.
On the recording, it sounded like I recorded it through a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
So today I purchased the little Wi-Fi. Sorry, not Wi-Fi. The little Bluetooth things, and we'll see. I'm hoping.
I'm really excited to hear how that goes. Yeah. I buy this stuff, 1, for our channel, 2, for personal projects, 3, if there is value to it. I'm the type of person that I'm happy to use things like this for work projects if the opportunity comes up. I know a lot of people draw very, very strict lines between work and personal.
They're not going to buy me a microphone, then I'm not going to use my money.
I work at a small company, and I don't have that mentality, and so I'm happy if I have a better tool than what we have at the office, I will use that. And then also, personal projects. I also have a couple of friends that are starting their own business online that I think these tools could be helpful, so I'm happy to loan them out to them as well. I have the lapel mics because they work really great in the shop, and they work well in situations like this. However, I wanted to go ahead and get the shotgun microphone because of that tethering problem. Because I wanted something that is good for vlogging style videos. With this kit, I can set this up on a tripod. I can set this up on this flexible tripod here that I can wrap around a post, have lighting, have camera, have good audio from the shotgun without having to do anything else once it's set up. This ring light also came with a remote, and so with the video apps, you can take pictures with the remote, or you can start and stop recordings.
Run through some of the color temperatures here real fast with the remote.
I did that.
Well, you did it while we were showing.
Okay.
Something. Let's see how it affects this.
So
we do have some warm light in the room right now, but this is really overwhelming, that warm light.
So there is a in-wire inline remote control here, and so this remote is just a Bluetooth on-off for taking pictures.
Okay.
This is nothing more than that. The inline remote, however, allows you to turn it off. So this is no light at all, and we'll start at the lowest setting. So this is the lowest setting on the...
That's intensity.
Lowest intensity on the, I guess this is the natural light. And so we'll slowly increment up all the way to the brightest. So you can see it's pretty darn bright. I'm going to go ahead and go back down to the bottom. So the next is warm light.
That 2700 Kelvin?
I have no idea. And so this is that full intensity. And so it's...
See, I like warm lighting personally.
Yeah. And then this is cold lighting.
Cool. Not cold. Cool.
Nope, it's super cold.
No such thing as cold lighting.
It is cold
That's about
lighting.
That's 5 or 6,000 Kelvin.
It's cold.
Cool.
I can feel the cold coming off of it. Cold lighting. And so, you would use this for nighttime shots where you need something a little softer.
We want to look cold.
This is going to be more... This is... You're probably going to switch either between that and this warm light. Kind of depending on the time of day you're shooting, what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
How much you're trying to see or be seen. No, we can leave it on warm. It's fine.
Which makes the pipe look best?
Leave it on cold.
No, it's really washed out.
The warm because it's the most sepia.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, I think it was like $22. This is a 10-inch ring light. It's got the mounts. It came with the tripod. It came with the remote control. It also came with an attachment. So if you don't have the need to connect another microphone or something to the whole piece of kit, it's got a flexible phone mount, and so you could have everything that you need really to start recording just in one package.
Camera lens typically behind or even or in front of the ring light?
I don't know. In most of the instances, it's going to be probably either even or slightly in front of. And that's just with limitations of space.
Getting glare, I would think.
Yeah. But, I mean, you've seen we have more glare than the camera's going to get.
Hey, by the way, look at this.
Nice.
Almost
Totally
completely
absorbed.
covered that magnet.
And so once it gets like that, you can see the kind of crystalline structure of it all.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Yeah,
That's wild.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that purchase.
So let's see. Was that it for tech?
I think
So
so.
the mic thing that I bought, one of the little parts, the little transmitter, has a mic built into it. And again, you can plug in a lavalier. So when you do that, that overrides the mic that's built in. So you can then take that little box and stick it in your pocket or someplace and run your wire like you would normally with a wired lav.
How much was that?
I think I paid $130. Came with the lav. Comes with a zippered hard case. I think it was $119, and then I purchased a new iPhone dongle. And I purchased another cable that goes with it as well.
And that's just a single?
Just a single. And it's mono, so if you wanted to do two mics, you'd have to have a splitter feeding into one, and maybe that would overwhelm it. So, again, it's kind of silly to have a wireless mic and then to have yourself tethered with two.
Does it have the capability of adding?
Not this one.
Doesn't.
So for all I want to do is to be able to be at my tools and chat, and not have to have that cord dragging behind me. I mean, I got every time I've been in my shop recording, I've snagged it on something, and the worst thing happened this week. I made a really long video for that channel. I've been trying to keep them pretty short, and I think maybe the longest one was 10 minutes, and I made a 20-minute long video this weekend. And I debated whether I'd cut it in half, and it doesn't make sense to cut in half. And I announced on that channel I'm now doing two videos a week. I'm doing the topic I want to talk about that week, and then at some point midweek, I'm coming back and addressing questions and comments, and inevitably when I demonstrate something on a woodworking tool, as soon as I'm done, I go, oh, I meant to mention this. And so I'm kind of making notes of what it is I want to kind of take another stab at.
So then that one is whatever the title of the video is. And then
we don't...
Like wood wishes, like all of your wood wishes come true.
It'll have some sort of a name. That particular show, if we'll call it that rehash will have a name, and then parenthetically would be the name of the previous video that it's responding to. So my viewers on that channel have thrown out some suggestions. A couple of them that I've had to reject, even though they're good, are things that refer to a specific day of the week, because there's no guarantee I can get it done for Way Back Wednesday or Throwback Thursday or something like that. But those are good names if I could guarantee that I could do that.
Right.
But I don't want to record them earlier in the week just so I can upload it on a Wednesday or Thursday, because I may not be able to record it earlier in the week. I want to be able to get as many questions as possible.
Why don't you just have a cutoff date for the question? Okay.
I don't care that much.
Fair. Fair.
That's been fun. I've gone into a pretty deep dive on the Shopsmith bandsaw, which is a neat tool, and did a drill press one that you'd think that's silly. I know how to use a drill press. It wasn't about using a drill press. It was about setting up the Shopsmith as a drill press, which is different. And what's been very rewarding are comments from people that have said, I've owned this machine for years, and I actually learned some helpful things. That's very motivating, since I'm not monetized or anything. So,
I was talking to Isaac the other day. Went over to his shop, and he was talking about how he spent the better part of a week just really dialing in his Shopsmith to get it working. And he said it is night and day different from when he was first started.
Yep.
Because he's like, now it's smooth as butter. I can do this, and this, and without it taking a lifetime and getting the transitions right. He also, he's come to the realization now that it is a multi-tool. And so, like many multi-tools, it's not going to be as good at any one thing as an omnitasker.
Maybe.
But it can do multiple things.
So for every one of its functions, you could certainly purchase a unitasker that would do that one thing better. No question about it. But it's better than most drill presses, partially because it has two columns. Most drill presses have one column. So when you adjust the table in relationship, if you want to increase that distance between the table and the bit, that table will wander around. And so if you've got a jig or something set up that was perfectly dialed in and now you want to drop it half an inch, it's going to move. Mm-hmm. Shopsmith one won't do that because the two columns is variable speed. With a dial, most drill presses don't have that capability. You're changing pulleys, which unfortunately a lot of woodworkers are lazy to the point that, look, I just want to drill this one hole. So if it's drilling a little fast, who cares? And then they ruin a Forstner bit or something expensive because they were running it too fast. The Shopsmith drill press is fantastic for that. The lathe is great, but the lathe is low. So if you spend a lot of time turning, it's going to hurt your back unless you come up with some means of raising it up. So, but understanding those things, as Isaac will learn, he'll learn how to eke the best out of it. You also learn to organize your work. People say, "Oh, I don't want that because I know as soon as I change it out of the table saw mode, I'll realize I have one more cut to make." You learn that, and you organize yourself so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I was watching him take pieces off to switch modes and just like chunking pieces over to a sign. Like, there's got to be a better way for that. Good. Yeah. So, all right. Well. The magnet is almost completely absorbed, so I think that's our cue.
That's really funky too. Let's see if we can get that up close to the camera. You can see it. Yeah, it almost looks fuzzy. Mm-hmm. All that texture.
Yeah, so you can see the fibers are definitely being magnetized.
Oh, it's even pulling underneath the magnet. Oh, that's wild. If
we leave that, it will center itself. The magnet will center itself.
We're leaving it.
All right, it will center itself in the putty.
So we're actually recording our videos a little out of order tonight. You won't care because you'll see them when you see them. But we have a guest joining us for episode 300. So be sure to join us in a couple weeks when we celebrate our 300th weekly Marco Ben's Breakfast Club episode. We don't count Tobacco Advent episodes in that. So how many videos would we be up to?
We're close to 500. I don't know.
That's wild.
We're close to at least.
Were you going to announce your retirement?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we'll see. Well, we'll save that maybe for 301. I don't know. Don't want to make it. Don't want to be too predictable.
All right, very good. Thanks for joining us. Leave us a comment. We enjoy having conversations here. So let us know you were here and if you enjoyed any part of this, and if you didn't, give us an insult and see what we can do with that. Make it a great week.
All right, thanks. Bye.